I want you to think back to the last time you looked up to the night sky. And I mean really looked. Was it last night? Maybe it was last month. The night sky is riddled with sparkling stars and glittering galaxies that can look within an arm's reach, yet in reality are unfathomable distances away, and I find it incredibly beautiful. Ever since I could remember, I've enjoyed looking up to the stars. It gives me a sense of place and meaning within the everlasting universe. And I could be having the worst day ever. But when I appreciate the universe above me, all of those problems melt away for just a little while. But we are quickly losing the opportunity to enjoy the stars in the sky. We are losing the darkness to overbearing, bright city lights. But imagine if rather than turning off every bright light in the city so you can really see the stars, we instead opened our eyes to its beauty. Today, I want to encourage you to take the time to understand the night sky and the long history of Indigenous astronomy that accompanies it, to take the time to look up. I've been looking up at the stars since I was a little girl. I remember my science teachers took my year group on an excursion to see the Hubble documentary on a gigantic movie screen. And I sat there with the one-size-fits-none 3D glasses slipping off my face, looking up in awe of these magnificent photos taken by this phenomenal telescope. And ever since then, I've been hooked on space and astronomy. Now I'm up to my honors year at university, studying great galaxy clusters in the near universe. And I've spent almost 4 years working at Sydney Observatory. So I guess you could say I've spent a fair share of my time looking up. I want to take you on a journey back in time now, to a time where the words light pollution were foreign tongue. I want you to imagine yourselves standing on the banks of Sydney Harbour in the days before British settlement. On a moonless night, you feel the winter chill whip around the water as the last rays of sunlight catch the top of the trees. As the sun goes down, its light is scattered more and more by each and every particle in the atmosphere, transforming the sky from a brilliant sky blue to beautiful pinks, oranges, and reds, before fading to a deep royal blue as the shadow of the earth dominates the sky. With every minute that passes, new twinkling lights appear above you. Some are bright and some are dim, but all of them are beautiful. Once the sun has completely retreated from the sky, you can see it all. In the clean air, you notice some of these twinkling lights shine in different colors. Most appear to be white in color, but some shine with hints of blue or red, showing off a little bit more about their nuclear fires. A shooting star, also known as a meteor, dashes across a dazzling carpet of stars that stretches across the entire night sky. It looks milky, like a stream, but also oddly resembles clouds, sparkly clouds. This is the Milky Way galaxy. Towards the south, you can see two other separate blobby clouds, one larger than the other. These are the small and large Magellanic Clouds, two dwarf galaxies that orbit the much larger Milky Way in a romantic, eternal dance choreographed by gravity. I remember the first time, very clearly, I ever saw the Milky Way in all of its grandeur. My parents and I were traveling across the lower part of Australia by car and playing a game of golf on the longest golf course in the world, the Nullarbor Links. This golf course starts in Ceduna, South Australia, and finishes all the way over in Kalgoorlie, Western Australia. At almost every little town stop along the way, there's at least one golf hole. The fifth hole is located at what's called the Nullarbor Roadhouse. This place has 5 things: a servo, a small pub, very important, motel and caravan park, and one golf hole. The one night we stayed there, we decided to, after a long day of driving under the intense Australian sun, we decided to stay, and for some unknown reason, the main generator backed out, and all the lights in this tiny town turned off, except for one single streetlight. The view of the night sky was so pristine and so incredible, I felt like I was swimming in space. Or maybe I was just swimming in sweat. Trust me, it's hot in Central Australia. But there were just so many stars and so many colors dancing around. It was so beautiful, it brought me to tears. With no artificial lights, we could be seeing this, up to 2,500 stars. But in present-day Sydney, you can see a pitiful 125 stars at best with the naked eye. A mere 5% of what you could be seeing without the addition of light pollution. A lot of people around the world don't know the real beauty of the natural night sky. People have gone their entire lives believing that the night sky is only filled with less than a few hundred stars. Data collected from the Helmholtz Center in Potsdam, Germany, reveals that the Milky Way is hidden from 1/3 of the global population. And 80% of the world's population live under light-polluted skies. But not only are we losing the opportunity to enjoy and explore this gorgeous night sky, we are also losing the rich cultural history that is veiled in and around each and every single star. My relationship with Aboriginal astronomy started in my first year of university, around the same time I started working at Sydney Observatory. I learnt about great celestial bodies from my Wiradjuri heritage and found a new perspective of the universe. For those who aren't aware, Wiradjuri land is located in what's now more commonly referred to as central New South Wales. As soon as I opened my eyes to this new perspective of the universe, I've delved into learning more. There are hundreds, if not thousands, of cultures scattered across the globe, and each one has a rich history connected to the stars. In Australia alone, there are more than 250 Indigenous groups that have used the stars for the last 65,000 years, and their knowledge is still exercised to this day. When you take a closer look at the Milky Way and notice all the little details, you'll see that it's not just a uniform carpet of stars. There is light and dark in the Milky Way. And this darkness, this dust and gas that naturally blocks the light from distant stars, possesses one of my absolute favorite constellations from my Wiradjuri heritage, Gugurman, the Celestial Emu. Once you see it, you can't unsee it. It is incredible. Its head begins up here, below the Southern Cross. This dark patch is a dark nebula known in Western astronomy as the coal sack. It is connected to the neck, which stems down towards the east, and this large bulge here is the body of Gugurman and the center of the Milky Way galaxy. In Wiradjuri culture, and in many other Indigenous nations as well, the position of the emu in the night sky indicates at what time of the year is the right time to go looking for emu eggs. When Gugurman is on the eastern horizon, it looks like it's running along the horizon. This indicates to us that the emu are now running around looking for a mate. Later in the year, as the Earth travels a little bit further around the sun, Gugurman's body travels up and up and up to the point where it's directly above you in the night sky just after sunset. Now, we don't see it as an emu's body anymore, but instead as an emu egg in a nest. And this indicates to us that now is a time to go looking for emu eggs. So once you know it's the right time to go looking for emu eggs, yourself and a friend will go out to the bush with something like this, an emu caller, and find yourselves an emu sitting on a nest. Now, usually it's the males that sit on the nest. So to lure away a male, you have your friend hide behind a bush and make the sound of a male emu. When the emu hears that sound, it's going to get very territorial and go looking for the imposter. So, while your friend is being chased by the emu, you can then safely go to the nest and take 1 or 2 emu eggs. But a very important question for you all right now. Do you take all of the emu eggs? Of course not. We want to leave some emu eggs behind to have more emus develop to have more emu eggs next season. It's this fantastic thing called sustainability. Now, this technique of using the stars to find emu eggs has worked for over 65,000 years. Not only does the sky act as a seasonal menu of sorts, it can also be used as a tool to teach many lessons. You can learn a lot about what's happening on the land just by looking up at the stars. In many Indigenous cultures, the night sky can be used as a map, or it can be used to predict changes in the weather. You can also learn about Aboriginal law, and it can teach you fundamental workings of the universe. But we're losing this knowledge because we're losing the darkness. The National Australian Curriculum now includes subjects in Aboriginal astronomy and other Indigenous sciences. This is a great step forward for our nation in an effort to close the gap and gain a mutual understanding between Indigenous and non-Indigenous Australians. But there's still one problem. A lot of Australians still can't see the Milky Way or these dark constellations that it possesses. So, the next time you look up to the night sky, think about what great knowledge is thinly veiled in and around each and every single star. And think about what you can do to help preserve and appreciate our wonderful night sky. Go on a tour at an observatory, or take some time out of your day to explore the world of Indigenous astronomy at home. And if you find yourself in outback Australia, take a moment to look up and find that celestial emu. Thank you.